Good evening, everyone, and welcome. We're going to be talking about sugar today and the impact that it has on our body. So, avoiding the bittersweet side of sugar. We realized you could have lots of questions, and Dr. Justine has made herself available. You can text her at 647-987-9355. I wanted to welcome Dr. Justine here with us today. So she is an incredible leader, both within her chiropractic office and with the naturopathic team, but also she is a leader in the community, an author, a public speaker, and she really believes that everyone deserves a healthcare team that focuses on prevention, optimal health, and open communication. Please help me welcome Dr. Justine Blaney-Broker.
Hello, everybody. Man, is this topic important because so many of us love sugar. We get addicted to sugar, and the more sugar we have, the more we want. And certainly that's a challenge for me. If I start to have sweets, then I'm just like on a downward spiral. So it's trying to figure out that balance, trying to figure out, just really how do you say no and not just treats, coming up to Halloween and but also how to do and Christmas and New Year's where it's also things like alcohol or sugary drinks or juice. So looking at how we find that healthy way today. So we're going to be talking about the enemy, sugar. But upcoming, we have information about natural inflammation, ways to reduce natural inflammation. Um, Ways to reduce inflammation that happens because of injuries, because of trauma, because of um, different health conditions, different diseases, and how to use different herbs or natural supplements to manage inflammation. So, this is great for people with heart disease, with arthritis, with risks of cancer, because we're going to be talking about healthy nutrition and herbs with Dr. Jocker's information. We have a healthy holidays. I know that this is when we can just you get into some bad habits, and this is when people can gain 10 pounds, get out of their exercise routines, get overstressed. This is when people get sick because they're just overworked, trying to get all the Christmas stuff ready as well as their regular duties. And then I am going to do a sit and fit. I know my mom loves those. Just a great way to add 15 minutes of easy exercises to keep us moving over that Christmas holiday. So stay tuned and share these with others because we'd love to be able to help everybody. So, our mission is to help as many people as possible to have longer, healthier lives with the integration of chiropractic and the five essentials. As a team in our office, we have our nutritionist, our holistic nutritionist, we have our naturopath, our acupuncturist, massage therapist, our physiotherapist, our chiropractors working together to help you be your best mentally, physically, emotionally. And isn't that the time we need right now? We need to work together. So, our mission is to share this worldwide with Maximize Living to help us live healthier, more energetic, longer lives. So here's the challenge. I know we are addicted to sugar. If you look at the US, it's 1 in 4 don't even realize that they are pre diabetic. Millions and millions and millions are diabetic and pre diabetic. So when we look at these stats in the US, we're not far behind north of the border. The rates in the States among those just 18 years of age to 44 is 4% are diabetic. Think about that. Out of 100, that's 4 people that are in their 20s and their 30s. And then if you go 45 to 64 years of age, that's my age group, that's 17%. That's almost 20%. 1 in 5 people of my friends would be diabetic. And that means there's even more that would be pre diabetic and don't even realize that they're at risk. And then if we look over 65, these are our mothers, these are our families, our aunts and our uncles. These are people we really care about. It's 25%. That's 1 in 4. So we need to realize that diabetes is huge and sugar is the enemy. We need to be able to manage it better. We also have a challenge that this is affecting us unequally. It is not the same for Caucasian white as other people with color. For example, with natives or non Hispanics, Hispanics, Asians. It affects us all differently. And some of us more than others. And we need to be more aware of our ways to manage sugar and sugar addictions. So if we look at sugar as a silent killer, here are some of the problems when we have too much sugar. And we'll talk about those hidden ones that we don't even realize, not just putting sugar in your coffee or your tea or having a donut or a treat. I know the other day someone brought Timbits to the office, and I'm like, okay, what are we gonna do with these? Some of the team had them, but there was lots left over because I haven't had tin butts in years. Like, there's no way I'm gonna have one of those sugary things. So, not that my kids wouldn't have one, and we would be perfect, but that is just something I say no to forever and never plan to have one again. So some of these challenges, the silent killer of sugar affects weight gain. When we're looking at signs of diabetes on the rise, that puts us at more risk of every disease, including COVID. It affects heart disease, cancer, diabetes, arthritis, you name it. Weight gain is a challenge. Um, you look at it affects moods. I know if I have sugar, that it's easy to have the high and the crash. But if it's a continuous area of sugar, it actually leads to lower energy, more mental illness, more signs of depression. More often now, we are hearing signs of fatty liver and the challenges with fatty liver. We're seeing how it affects skin. And I see one of my grandmothers on my stepmother's side in her 90s, and she literally looks like 60 years old. You would think she was like a skin cream model on TV, my grandmother Ruby. But you see that how we take care of our nutrition, our health makes a big difference. My grandmother makes her all her own, muffins, makes all her own oatmeals, and truly manages her weight and her nutrition in an amazing way all the way to her 90s. And just now left taking care of her own home and is getting some assistance. And then we know from not just our youth, this is not just teenagers, but all of us, the more foods that we eat that have the poor sugars, the more it affects our skin. So when we look at heart disease, we can look at high triglycerides, high sugars, high blood pressure. It leads to the obesity, inflammation, leads to atherosclerosis, which is hardening of the arteries or calcification of the arteries. So the tubes of the arteries can't pump the blood the same. We look at some of the research that is affecting thrombosis, literally blood clots that are going to affect our um, risk of life throughout our whole body. We know with diabetes, it'll affect insulin resistance. And so that our body is not able to manage the insulin, and it's not even able to manage the calories the same. So we know that risk of diabetes grows at least 1% for every 150 calories of sugar. And so that's equivalent to like one pop if we have uh, too much sugar. The risk with depression with sugar, the mood swings, it affects neurotransmitter dysregulation, affects inflammation, affects cognition, memory, dementia. When we deal with those sugars, they often say that what you eat affects how you think. What you eat affects how you think. And so I think that's something that, if we're looking sometimes for that instant gratification, for the pop, for the sweet, for the drink, mixed drink, the muffin, the cookie, but we don't look at how that affects us long term. And when I see some of my grandparents that can't, remember their grandchildren, can't remember their own children, wonder if they knew, uh, you know, what they knew now in their 90s, would that have changed how they made choices when they were younger? So certainly huge effects. And when we look at sugar and how much is too much, it's surprisingly so low. So if you look at men, and this is typically just because they're bigger, taller, way more, 9 teaspoons, 9 teaspoons. That happens very, very quickly. For women, it's 6 teaspoons. So very, very, very small amounts of sugar per day is what is acceptable to try and prevent some of these diseases. So, just to give you an example, 12-ounce can of pop, Coke, has 8 grams of sugar. So, just one pop would put you over the limit for your day. Um, one chocolate bar or candy bar would literally put you very close to over the limit. You'd barely be able to eat anything else with 5 to 6 teaspoons of sugar with just one area. I know my kids used to like things like iced tea, and iced tea can often have 21 teaspoons, like grams of sugar, sorry, 21 grams of sugar, which means that you would be near your limit with that one iced tea. Let alone if you went to, say, Tim's and got like an iced lemonade, or Wendy's and you got a what's that, frozen chocolate or vanilla drink, that's like a smoothie, right? When you go to uh to get one of those blizzards that you can turn upside down, way over your sugar limit, often just with one of those treats for the entire week. So sometimes people say, "Well, I don't eat sugar. I don't have a blizzard. I don't have candy bars. I don't have pop, right?" And that's amazing, but it is hidden in so many things. And one of the biggest ones is protein bars, very, very much hidden in different protein bars and granola bars. So we do have to start to read those labels. If we look at yogurt, yogurt can often have anywhere between 9 and 20 grams of sugar. So again, can put us over the limit for the day, even if it's Activia. Once you add those fruits, it makes it more difficult. So in our household, if you went in our kitchen right now, we do have plain yogurt. And then you can add your own sweetener, like your own low sugar jam if you want, or xylitol or monk fruit or pure maple syrup in order to make it healthier. And it would be an option that we would use in smoothies. We would use it as a way, if you made pancakes, for example, and you wanted like whipped cream, you could use the yogurt, no, plain yogurt, so no sugar yogurt. Another one is cereals. Holy cow, even organic cereals, even Cheerios, even your healthiest hemp cereals tend to have 9 grams of sugar. So you'll see that one bowl of cereal can put you over for the entire day. So you just have to be super, super careful with that. Um, if we look at some of the cereals, for example, Frosted Flakes, 7 teaspoons, you're over. Corn Flakes, still can, get 2 to 3 grams of sugar. Cheerios, one, teaspoons of sugar. Cheerios, just one teaspoon, and that's not the sugared ones or the covered ones. If we look at things that you think we tend to, Special K, close to 3 teaspoons. So very easy that you're over half your limit for the day with that first meal. Honey Nut Cheerios, something that I grew up with, and many people give their infants and their small children, can have 6 to 7 teaspoons of of sugar, way over what should be allowed for such a small body. So certainly we have to be super, super careful with those cereals. If we look at fruit, that can be pretty crazy as well. Mangoes, almost 3 teaspoons of sugar. So high sugar fruits like mangoes, pineapples, bananas, grapes. I know we used to give grapes for our kids for their lunches. You have to be careful of not too much fruit. You still can have too much of a good thing, which will make them into a higher glycemic fruit and put us over for the day. So fruit is great. I'm not saying avoid fruit, for especially for our young children, but we do have to make sure that it's not too much. This is an area where my mom can get overwhelmed. She just love her fruit and oatmeal for breakfast, but the next thing you know, she's had 10 to 15 teaspoons of sugar in her first meal, which gives you that high, and then later crash, she's eating coffee, she's eating a muffin, 3 to 4 hours later. So we do have to be careful with those sugars. We also have to look at added sugars. And this is even healthy sugars. When people think of coconut sugar or beet sugar, brown sugar, buttered sugar. These areas, organic sugars, evaporated cane sugar, convection sugar, these things are added to a lot of things that we don't realize. Even healthier, like unpasteurized honey or pure maple syrup, when we add these to other products, they can still over put us over the limit for our sugar per day. The one that we would need to avoid is high fructose corn syrup. High fructose corn syrup, that is cancer causing, it is toxic to our body, and it is added in so many things without us being aware, whether it's crackers or breads or muffins, any kind of baked goods, pop. It's cheaper, it's sweeter, but it is more toxic. Even things like agave, I we used to use agave, but now it's so processed. So we do have to be aware. Even the things that we think are advertised as healthier still affect our overall sugar limit. And if they're processed, they can cause more damage than good. Other added sugars, things like molasses, berry malt, cane sugars, lactose, um, crystalline fructose, dextrin, malt powders, ethyl maltose, fructose, fruit juice concentrates, galactose, glucose, um, maltose, dextrin, maltose. All of these are often the different names that you will see in salad dressings. You will see in different things like ketchup, sauces, condiments, and where the sugars are added. So when you look at that, you're supposed to have 6 to 9 grams, depending on male, female. That includes all of these added sugars. If we add condiments, pops, juice, fruit into our diet, so we just have to be super super careful of where all of these sugars are coming from. So what's the solution? Not to have all of a negative Nelly and negative Nelly and all these bad news, is we need to manage the five essentials. We know that we're not going to be perfect. I don't think anybody's perfect. Certainly not me. Even though I do try to keep my sugars below, definitely below the 5 grams a day, and typically two to four. But we want to manage with the five essentials our brain and spinal health. We want to manage our nutrition, maximize our mindset, maximize our exercise, our energy. I'm going to do a workout after this, and minimize those toxins. So we do have a bonus for you. You can contact Angela for a handout about all of these information, different vitamins that we're going to cover today, and how to balance your blood sugar. So if you're interested in this handout with a 2-page summary, just contact Dr. JBWC Marketing at gmail.com. You'll see that on the bottom of the screen, and we would be happy to send you this handout. So today we're first going to cover nutrition and how to balance our sugars with our foods. Um, the number one area is to eat lower carb veggies. So raw would be the best, but we're looking for things that are green. That means avoiding the corns, the carrots, looking for onion, zucchini, eggplant, tomatoes, Brussels sprouts, spinach. We're looking for lots and lots of variety of green, and half your plate or the size of your hand in green. Looking to add a salad every single day. So one of my favorite meals is a salad with boiled eggs. And obviously no croutons because I'm gluten free, but I would add, say wisps, the cheese wisps, or better yet, sesame seeds or sunflower seeds, and into my salads so that you have that crunchy part. Looking towards kale, spinach, chard, replacing any high carbs, fat chips with, say, like kale chips. Looking at healthy nuts and seeds, healthy protein shakes to make it easier. Water that's infused with vegetables or frozen fruit. Looking at low glycemic fruits, like your berries or your green apple. Adding those healthy fats because that helps you feel full, like your olive oil, your avocados, your nuts, your seeds, your walnuts, in order to make it easier for you. And of course, adding those healthy proteins. So that's looking at wild fish, free range chicken, grass fed beef, free range eggs in order to make it healthier for you. Now, that all sounds easy, but man, at the beginning, It's tough. It's tough to deal with those food cravings. It's tough to learn, to change your body's way of dealing with intermittent fasting. So we've had other talks on intermittent fasting in order to lower how to deal with those food cravings and to deal with that short over time, but also dealing with just even while you're already intermittent fasting or you're eating a regular diet, how to deal when you're just starving, that kind of pain that, oh my God, it hurts your stomach. That hangry, like you just can't like move. My husband gets like that. Like he has to stay well fed or like he can't think, he can't talk. So one of the ways is definitely making sure you're getting enough protein. Many people have way too much carbohydrates compared to their protein. So looking at your body weight and deciding how much protein you need to get every single day and spreading that out throughout the day, especially getting that protein early in the morning, or if you're intermittent fasting, is that first meal in the morning. To learn more about how much protein, definitely talk to our nutritionist or to Dr. Udani, our naturopath, so that you can figure out what you need for your body, how many grams, what size, how many ounces of fish, how many ounces of chicken, how many eggs. What do you need for your body weight and your hormone balance? Food cravings, a lot of times it's our mind that wants the food, our eyes that want the food, but our tummy actually doesn't. So go for a walk, distract yourself, read a book, give yourself a 15-minute time limit on your phone. So, so have the bell go off and say, are you really hungry? Wait 15 minutes and maybe you don't really need that food. If I'm really hungry, one of the big things is have a drink of water, like have a whole glass of water and say, and it allows me that time to think about if I'm really hungry. Sometimes we have almond butter, cashew butter, organic peanut butter with no sugar. So sometimes to have that bite of that, then take the 15 minutes, you realize that, okay, I'm not as hungry as I thought. I'll make a healthier choice after that. Having vegetables, food ready, pre-prepped allows us to make healthier decisions. Having healthier fruits available helps us make healthier decisions. Nuts and seeds, we always have almonds and cashews available. And pure dark chocolate. Now, for example, for me at Costco, they have the little pre-packaged dark chocolate squares. So they have 1 gram of sugar, and it splits into four. They're called keto dark chocolates. And so I can just have one square, which is like 1/4 of a gram of sugar. And it just allows you to feel like you had that treat, but then you don't need anything else. But it does take time to change those taste buds. So you have to have grace with that. For me, it's so much easier to have gone cold turkey, just stop it all and then have very little. My husband can't manage that. He needs to be able to have the sweets here and there, so he's better able to balance his sweets, and being able to still have alcohol and just lower his overall calories and lower looking at a weekly area versus for me, once I have it, I have too many and too much. I just don't know how to say no anymore. So it's always easier to say no all the time. Um, Remember that if you're going for a walk, that also releases those endorphins, that serotonin, that good feeling that we get from food. So that feeling of feeling satisfied because you're getting the hormone release helps us make better decisions afterwards. So some of the different areas of nutrition that you can look through to Maximize Living, they have balanced blood sugar bundles. They have information on the Maximize Living website to look at how to get the right fibers, the right glucose, the right metabolic support. They also have, if you look at the glucose for support, it helps with glucose levels, improves the insulin sensitivity. Some of the cool things that it has is cinnamon extract, American ginseng, and berberine inside. So it's a more of a complex to help the whole body. Sorry, I just our roommate just leaving. All right, so next one is metabolic support. This one already has comprehensive multivitamins, mineral support, green extract, taurine, um, and other multivitamins inside to help with that blood support and insulin production. And if we look at that fiber, many times we're just not getting enough fiber with respect to our sugars. So this helps with our weight management and also bowel movements, bowel motility, intestinal function. So these are some of the products that are very, very high end on maximize living, but that you can order online. But you can also talk to, again, to our naturopaths, our nutritionists, to really customize these to you. So if you look at some of the daily essentials, I take a multivitamin every single day. Being vegetarian, I take a B supplement every single day. We take essential oil, those good omega 3s, every single day. I take vitamin D every single day. This one has probiotics, so it helps your body digest better. I don't take glucose, magnesium every single day. I tend to mix and match with that. It's definitely very good to help with inflammation, to help with muscle function, muscle cramps. So definitely looking at that magnesium to make, but making sure you get a bioavailable form, so we're not wasting money, and that helps with DNA. Function as well, motor function, cardio function, and neurological function. So the biggest thing is like about mindset, because it is so easy to just get on this um sugar train. Like you want it and you have it more and more and more. So some of the things for me, like with appetizers, it's really, really important that I eat ahead. And then if I'm going to a function, is making sure that I have the healthier appetizers there for myself. So I make healthier choices. So if you're doing a potluck, bring a healthier potluck option for yourself so you can make healthier choices. Many times pre-eat so that you're not hungry, you're not getting to somewhere and you're starving and then make poor choices. The biggest thing for me was telling my friends and family that I'm going to eat differently, that I'm, so they're not surprised. They don't feel bad that I'm not going to jump in on the desserts or their appetizers. It helps them prepare and helps them also not feel bad because you're not having what they have to offer. I know when there's appetizers or lots of foods, one of the biggest things for me is having my hands full. So having 2 glasses of water with my hands full, I cannot, hold a plate at the same time so that I cannot overeat and make healthier choices. We know that if we are super, super stressed, that is going to affect our hormone levels. You don't sleep the same, you feel more tension, you have less patience, your memory goes down, your hormones, your cortisol, your glucose is affected. So we know that stress affects our ability to manage sugar. So super important to find ways to manage stress. So on our wellness talks, we have all sorts of different talks on stress, on anxiety, and definitely chiropractic care, massage therapy, acupuncture, naturopathy are all ways to look at how to manage stress, because stress does affect our glucose levels. Some of the events when we're going to social events, as we come into Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's, don't go to events hungry. Focusing on the people rather than food. And this is one of the areas my mom always has challenges with is, to focus on get to see your kids, get to see your grandkids rather than what are we having for dinner. Um, Stay away from the food tables. Go and sit farther away, the furthest chair away from the food. If you're hosting, don't put all the different leftovers on the middle of the table. Make sure they're in the kitchen so people actually have to get up to go get them. Focus on our conversations and the events, preparing events or games for our families to play, or questions. What are we thankful for? What are we grateful for? What was the best part of the pandemic? What was the best part of your week? Planning ahead in our goal setting, putting our goals first and reading those goals, whether they're weight loss goals or health goals, plan those ahead. Bring the healthier dishes. Talk to the family ahead about the food limitations or allergies or diet that you are trying to, lifestyle that you're trying to follow. And definitely limiting alcohol, because alcohol does unfortunately have lots of sugars and 10, especially if we mix it with other areas. But if you are going to have alcohol, go for the clear white alcohol, like a Ryan soda, sorry, whiskey and soda, that kind of thing. You're looking at vodka. The lighter ones tend to have less sugar. Wine, less sugar than say a rum and coke, so or a vodka and orange juice. So definitely, if we're having alcohol, then you can still make your choices. Make a spritzer, so that you're still having wine, but add soda. That will make it healthier for you overall. We got to move. All right. Oxygen. I'm going to do my workout after this. We need to move, and we need to find out that exercise program that's going to work for you. Now it's so easy on YouTube. You can find all sorts of different exercise programs, whether it's yoga, it's Pilates, it's HIIT exercise, TRX exercises, weightlifting exercises. Find somebody and follow it and create a plan, the time of day, every single day of the week where you're going to commit to that exercise. Ideally, we're doing a minimum just to maintain 30 minutes a day of exercise of some form. It doesn't have to be for a run, it doesn't have to be weights at a gym, but it has to be something. So, on our website, we have tons of different exercise choices, exercises for your lower back, for your core, for your balance, for your upper back, how to do an exercise program with your coffee table, and they're all free. So, definitely engage, and engage also in your breathing exercises to get that oxygen, dealing with those 5 essentials. So definitely, those breathing exercises are on our website, but if you have questions, don't hesitate to ask one of our health professionals. Exercise will help with insulin sensitivity. So it will help you digest that food better. It will help your digestion overall. It will help improve your metabolism. So therefore, you can eat more as well. Now, toxins, we do need to minimize those toxins, and they are hidden everywhere. There's just chemicals everywhere in our bodies. They're now talking about diabetogens, meaning that there are toxins that affect our ability to deal with insulin. And these persistent organic pollutants, POP, persistent organic pollutants, are hidden in so many areas, but they are now saying they're over 30 times more present in diabetics. Toxins are hidden in our fat, and they hide in our fat. So we do need to find ways to detox. We need to detox some of the air pollutants that we can't avoid to breathe in, some of the pesticides, the phthalates that can be in our creams, our shampoos, our conditioners, even how we wash our clothes. Right now, so many toxins because people are cleaning with toxic cleaners. These cleaners are not regulated. So the toxins load has gone higher. The phytoestrogens has gone higher. So even more needed is find ways to detox. Sabine, our holistic nutritionist, does the lazy detox. That's the foot bath. But our naturopath can talk to you about customized detoxes that can help you save long term your toxic ability. And I do recommend doing a detox quarterly, especially those who know that they are challenged with different foods and their chemicals or pesticides, in their environment, especially people like farmers, people who are around toxins more often. For example, they may work in an environment that is dealing with a lot of cleaning toxins. They may need those detoxes more often. Now, when we deal with the essential of core chiropractic, memorize, we're talking about the 5 essentials: maximizing your nutrition, your nerve flow, and we're going to cover your maximizing your oxygen, minimizing your toxins, maximizing your mindset. Chiropractic is super important because the brain controls everything in our body. Literally, what is the use of having great food and great exercise if our body can't manage it or deal with it? So, what controls all function, all healing? That's how our brain functions and sends messages down our spinal cord to all the different organs in our body. It is the master control system that has millions and billions and trillions of connections within the nerves to the other parts of our body. It controls all our organs, all our peripheral areas, our hands and our feet. And nervous system controls that homeostasis and our metabolism throughout the whole body. The nervous system also controls your limbic system. So if you think at this part of your head, it affects what's called your hypothalamus hypothalamus. And your hypothalamus is considered the brain of the brain. All right. And it controls your metabolism. It controls all of those messages from your solitary tract, your reticular formation, your retina, your eyes, your organs, your limbex, your ears, your smell. That hypothalamus is involved with all of those connections that helps affect your heart rate, your blood pressure, your glucose levels, your digestion, your body temperature, your appetite, your sleep, your behavior, your moods. Um, it's sending signals from your hypothalamus to your brain and to the rest of your body, including your pituitary gland, which is the one that sits right about here, just very, very small. And so when we have areas of subluxation, those areas that literally crunch on that spinal cord, fewer messages from your periphery can get to your brain and from your brain to the rest of your body. So we know from tons of research the importance of finding and removing subluxation to improve that brain gut reaction, to improve our metabolism, improve our digestion throughout our whole body. So some of the warning symptoms, if you have areas of subluxation, can be things like headaches, menstrual concerns, depression, blood pressure, tingling and numbness in your hands or your feet, or shooting pains like sciatica down your leg, or lower back concerns, achiness in your neck or your mid back. One of the ones that people don't think about is just fatigue, like just not yourself, no energy, or weakness and dizziness, acid reflux. So you get that burning in your chest or in your stomach or your mid stomach, and that can be subluxations from your mid back. Things like eczema and allergies can be from the top part of your neck. I get adjusted right here by Dr. Brett Muir. Just a very gentle adjustment right on the side, and it helps me with my allergies, helps me with sleep, helps me with focus. And so we see lots of children with ADHD or attention deficit. So these are some of the warning signs if you have areas of subluxation and stress on the nervous system. And so I certainly recommend that everybody gets a checkup with a chiropractor wherever you live. Get a checkup, see if you have areas of subluxation or not that are affecting your brain body connection. So if we look at this example, this is Larry, and he lost. He used to be diabetic. He lost tons and tons of weight. His wife lost 120 pounds. But the thing about with his story, with all the weight loss for him and himself, is he went from diabetic to no longer being diabetic. He went from being on cholesterol drugs and blood pressure drugs that he thought he was going to be on for the rest of his life. He was able to get off of them. So going from being type 2 diabetic, metformin, to being able to not need any metformin or insulin drugs at all, and get off all his drugs that he had and be able to sleep better. And so I ask yourself, are you doing your best? One, because you have diabetes, you are sugar addicted, or are you doing okay, but you're not sure you could do better and you want to just be your best, not just for now, but as you become a grandparent, are you doing the best steps? So, our action steps is just get a checkup. Get a checkup with your chiropractor to check your spine and your nervous system to see if there's areas of subluxation of this master control system. Get a checkup with your naturopath in order to make sure that you're getting the proper blood work, you're getting your minerals checked, you're getting your vitamins checked, you're getting your metabolism checked. You have the right diet. Many times we think we're eating all right, but when we do a food diary, we realize, oh my God, no, I have huge areas of improvement. So the three action steps, a checkup with your chiropractor, a checkup with your naturopath, and doing a food diary are the ones that I would start with. And then making sure you have a way of doing detox in a supervised way. Thank you for staying with us. We'd love to have you. We have so many talks coming up. Share them with friends and family. Sugar is the enemy. It is a problem, and it is so hard to avoid because it is bittersweet. So coming up is talks on inflammation and arthritis, how to manage the crazy holidays, the busyness, the stress of it, the presents, the get-togethers, the fatigue, the nutrition, the parties hopefully we will have. So how to manage those Christmas holidays, and of course, how to stay active in an easy way over the Christmas holidays. Connect with us. We'd love to be with you. We do accept questions. Just contact me at the office or my cell phone, but also connect with us on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. Share this with friends and family because, again, our mission is to help those worldwide. So, love having you, love seeing you, love serving you. Our team is always ready to help more people. So, just give us a call. And I look forward to being with you again soon.